Hello and welcome. This short video lecture provides a quick overview of some of the key concepts of this module on quality management and continuous improvement. You've already reviewed several resources on these topics, but let's do a quick review. Why do businesses manage quality? There are 4 key reasons. Managing quality helps guarantee a consistent product or service. For instance, when you are standing in the supermarket, if every can of soup looked slightly different from the outside, would you trust that the ingredients, quality, or food safety was consistent for the product inside the can? You might have some concerns. Customers want to know that products are safe and reliable. Quality management can help. Managing quality also helps guarantee consistent, efficient processes. Every company wants to find the most cost-effective way to achieve target results. Consider this example that compares one-piece flow to batch processing. If you are designing a production process, which approach is best? Quality management systems help companies to look carefully at their processes to find opportunities to increase efficiency and maximize profit.
As I was wandering around the airport, I couldn't stop noticing the amount of people always waiting in front of the elevators, but when I got to the escalators, nobody was waiting. People just got there, and they enter the escalator, and they go their ways, and no people waiting. Big difference between the two systems is that elevators are designed to work with batches, but escalators are designed for single-piece flow. So working with batches is a big nightmare. People wait outside the elevator, and then once they get in, they are still waiting. They are trying to figure out if the elevator is going up or it's going down, and they are not moving. They are still waiting and struggling. If you compare that with the escalators, you can see that people, when they get to the escalator, they immediately start moving, and always in the direction they want. It's so easy. When you watch the two systems side by side, the difference is staggering. On the right side, you see the elevators that are stopping and then moving and stopping again with big batches of people. But on the left side, you see this continuous flow of people. And even when more people go into the system still works properly. It's amazing to see this flow.
One important way to increase efficiency is to reduce errors that lead to rework. Many people think that rework only takes extra time. But consider the process illustrated here. If a 3-step process does not produce a pass at the inspection stage and needs to be repeated from step 1, the company has potentially doubled its labor costs, paying the same employees to do the job twice, doubled materials costs wherever consumables are required, and doubled production time, meaning the customer waits longer for what they've ordered. Rework is unsustainable in the long run. Quality management systems help identify common pain points and resolve them to prevent errors. Finally, managing quality is often required for compliance with regulatory bodies' requirements. In the pharmaceutical industry, for example, both Health Canada and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration want to know that companies producing drug products are doing everything required to turn out safe, consistent products every time. They require companies to maintain quality certifications in order to remain licensed to manufacture pharmaceutical products. There are several standards on the market that set out the guidelines to follow in implementing a quality management system that works at all levels of your organization. ISO 9001, Six Sigma, and Total Quality Management are 3 of the most popular standards. Your company might choose to invest in one of these and work toward meeting the standard certification requirements. Continuous improvement is the approach to work that seeks out problems to solve, thereby improving the processes, eliminating errors, reducing process time and cost, and improving overall quality. Each quality management system has its own model for the continuous improvement process. ISO 9001 uses the PDCA cycle. When problems arise and root causes have been identified, the organization will first plan, outlining the solution and its implementation. Then the organization will do, put the solution into effect. The next step is to check, make sure the solution has resolved the problem. Finally, act. If the problem appears to be solved, continue monitoring. If not, the cycle begins again with planning for the next change. In contrast, Six Sigma uses a linear process approach to continuous improvement. First, an organization should define the process, outlining all steps and variables, and then measure the process, collecting quantitative data about how the process is working. The analysis allows for pain points to be identified and solutions proposed. The next step, improve, focuses on implementing changes. Finally, the control step is about monitoring results. Further changes can be made if needed. Regardless of a company's model for continuous improvement, the important thing is to keep working on corrective and preventive action. Find the problems, fix them, and prevent them for the future. Now that we've reviewed quality management systems and continuous improvement concepts, you might still be wondering, what does all of this have to do with workplace writing? The answer? Every stage of quality management and continuous improvement needs to be documented. These are management systems that produce a lot of paperwork, and you will certainly be called upon to participate in writing some of the documents in your workplace documentation library. At the top level of the library are the documents that define the corporate mission. Documents like the strategic plan. This defines why a company exists. Is it to produce the best possible coffee, to deliver the highest quality customer experience, or to safely carry passengers from one point to another? The strategic plan will be different for every company. It is an expression of the company's identity and goals. To achieve these goals, a business needs to define its path. This is where policies come in. They provide the few general principles that guide or govern how a business operates. These are the company's internal guidelines or rules. It's one thing to say, for example, that Seneca upholds academic integrity, but how is this policy implemented? This is where procedures come into play. These define the standardized processes that explain exactly how work is done at the company. They are standardized. This means the process should be done the same way every time for consistent, repeatable results. Normally, a procedure exists for almost every process in the workplace. Sometimes these are communicated through training, but if they impact process, product, or service quality, or safety, they are more likely to be written for traceability purposes. Work instructions are like lower-level procedures. Where a procedure describes a process, instructions describe a task. For instance, a procedure might explain how to perform a titration. Work instructions will explain how to use the burette, something the procedure assumes you know how to do already. For every procedure, there are usually several associated instructional documents, which is why the pyramid is bigger at the bottom. Finally, every part of the work completed in any business will generate innumerable forms, logbooks, and reports as part of the organization's routine record keeping. When an employee contravenes a company policy, a report is filed. When a lab technician completes a routine analysis following the procedure, results are noted in logbooks. When a product fails an inspection, a nonconformance form is filled in, and the corrective and preventive action process begins, generating further reports to document root cause analysis and the planning, testing, and implementation of solutions. So I hope this helps illustrate just how significant business and technical writing skills are at all levels of the workplace. This concludes this lecture on quality management systems, continuous improvement, and the associated documentation. Please return to the online learning module to complete the remaining activities.